I miss something? I feel like I'm missing something because this number is too good to be true. Hey guys, it's Shelyn. Welcome back to my channel. Today I want to do a video on what it costs me to own 3 horses annually. This video, I just want to show you guys that horses do not actually have to be as expensive as you think they are. Granted, nobody's going to be in the same situation that I am, where it makes it a lot cheaper to own a horse, but it still doesn't have to be as expensive because horses don't need everything that you actually think they need. So, with all that being said, let's get started. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go over every expense that you might have to spend on your horse throughout the year, and I'm going to let you know what I spend on my horses. So, with hay, this is where it's different. I might spend $200 to $300 a year on hay. But why is this? It's because I have a 40-acre pasture with quality pasture, and so my horses are on pasture all year round. And I'm in California, so my horses are on pasture all year round. In the summer it's irrigated, so that's not an issue for us. That is what makes it cheaper for us. When I lived in Idaho though, my horses were on pasture during the summer, but in the winter I had to spend between $400 to $600 per horse. Anyway, I understand not everybody's gonna be in that situation because not everyone has pasture to keep their horses in, especially all year round. That's the reason I'm able to keep horses so cheap. So I am gonna do the math where if I did have hay as well, how much it would cost me. Now, deworming my horses. I actually only deworm my horses once a year. If I feel they need additional deworming later on in the year, I will do that. Or if they show that they need that, I will do that. But in general, I only do it in the springtime. And so that probably cost me about $35, and that's for 3 horses. Now with vaccines. Guys, this is also where you can kind of save money. You can buy vaccines at the store. Now, it depends if you actually want to give it to your horse yourself. You might find somebody else to do it. But you can find vaccines at the store. So it cost me about $41, $42 per horse. That comes out to about $130 a year. Now, make sure if you guys do that, you do your research on what vaccines have what and what your horses need. Just research it and you can make an educated decision on what vaccine to give your horse. You can actually call your vet, be like, okay, what do I need? But you can save, usually that would cost me like $150 to vaccinate my horses if the vet came out and did it. I saved a lot of money going to the store and buying my vaccinations. Trimming, my horses get done about 6 times a year. To get them trimmed is about $40 to $50, so I'm gonna say $50. It depends which fair I'm going with, but I'm gonna say $50. I have 3 horses, so it cost me $150 each time. 150 times 4 actually, because I don't like shoes on my horses all year round at all. Like, I might only have shoes on them for a few months of the year where I'm doing hard work, where I'm actually actively doing barrels or jumping or something. That might be the only time I put shoes on them. Otherwise, they're barefoot. If they don't need shoes, then I won't put shoes on them. So my one horse, she doesn't need shoes at all, so she only ever gets trimmed. My 2 other horses, they'll get shoes maybe twice a year. And so it cost me about $700 a year to get my horse's feet trimmed. And now shoes, that's about $100 per horse, give or take. So that's about $400. So now let's say shavings. I don't really stall my horses unless they need to be on stall rest. Otherwise they're in pasture or in a corral. So I don't really buy shavings that much unless I'm hauling my horses a long distance. I'll put it in the trailer. Shavings are relatively cheap, but just to be on the safe side, I'm just gonna guess like throughout a whole year, let's say I did a lot of hauling, my horses had to be on stall rest a few times, playing it safe. I'm gonna say $50 in shavings because I think it's like $5 a bag. So that's like buying shavings 10 times. I'm actually gonna say $100. Treats, just a bag of treats. I'm gonna say $15. Why not? Now teeth, my one horse, she's 23 years old and has never needed her teeth done. Okay, so this is the same horse who doesn't need shoes, never needed her teeth done. Like, she has perfect teeth. Like, she's the cheapest horse you could ever own if you ever want a horse. The 23 years that we've owned her, she has never needed her teeth done. She's just like this mud of a horse, you know, but is like the healthiest horse that we have. And my other horses, they actually don't need their teeth done often at all in diet. So they actually don't need their teeth done that much. So I just put down a number, about $300 a year. And that might be give or take. I'm gonna do $400 just to be safe. Okay, now grain, I don't have grain as part of their diet. I might use it as a treat, or if I have to supplement them in any way. So I just put $50 for grain. And then supplements, I'm gonna put like $200 just to be safe. I actually don't supplement my horses unless they're like starting a big workload and they need supplements. Like there's salt and mineral blocks, so that would count as a supplement. So I'm just saying $200 just to be safe. If they need it, then I'll supplement them. And if their workload is a lot, then I'll definitely supplement them. So I'm gonna say $200. It might be more. Each year is gonna be different. So I couldn't think of anything else that I would need for my horses. I'm not including tack or anything in this because who knows how much money I spend on that throughout the year. We're not gonna talk about it. It's actually not that bad as I'm making it sound because I'm actually a really cheap person. But anyway, so 3 horses. This is what I have come to. So I'm gonna say when I lived in Idaho and not living in Idaho. So when I lived in Idaho, I was spending money on hay. I spent about $1,800 a year on hay. Okay, guys. Did I miss something? Because this was including the $1,800 for hay. I feel like I'm missing something because this number is too good to be true. $3,730 a year for 3 horses. So that's if I'm living in Idaho and having to pay $1,800 every winter for hay. About $1,250 per horse. A little less. And remember, this is just like with the simple stuff. Now, when it comes to the vet stuff, you don't know what's gonna happen. Now, let's say while I'm living in California where my horse is on pasture, I might buy hay like if I'm hauling somewhere overnight or if I want my horses in the corrals. Those might be the only times I buy hay, right? This can't be right. I'm gonna do the math again. Okay, 2,130. Divide that by 3. $710 per horse. Okay, now guys, keep in mind, this number could go up. Let's say I've supplemented a horse more because they need it. So this is just if like the year goes good and like the horse doesn't need additional care. This is almost too good to be true. $710 per horse for an entire year. Now, if you're boarding a horse, that's gonna be a lot more. Board here averages probably $250. That's $3,000, an additional $3,000. Guys, you can make owning a horse cheap. It's gonna be more expensive if you're having to board, add an additional couple thousand. But if you need to make $3,000 a year, even as a high school student, like if you need to work to help do that, like that's doable. Like that's not even kind of a full-time job at all. So all I'm saying is horses don't have to be expensive. Like you don't need the nicest stuff. You don't have to supplement them with every single thing. To be honest, you actually shouldn't be. Now, on top of that, I do have a savings account with a few $1,000s in it just for emergencies for my horses. It's really smart to make a savings account, save up money in there for your horses. You don't know when they're gonna go through a fence or do something stupid and, just horses are accident prone. We all know this. So guys, I hope this was helpful. I want to be kind of encouraging more than anything. My horses are healthy and yet I kind of do the minimum with them. I'm not saying I won't spend more than that. I'm just saying that's probably average, and like that's why I mentioned having a savings account just in case you do have to spend more than that, because horses, you just never know with them. But if you think about it, yes, boarding might be like an extra $3,000 a year, but $250 a month, like you can work for that. You can. Like even $500 a month, it doesn't have to be that crazy. And just keep it at a minimum. while making sure that your horse is getting the needs that it needs. Yes? Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. If you guys want to stay up with my channel, see my content as soon as I put it out, push that subscribe button. I love you all. Thank you again, and I'll see y'all next time. Bye.